Hey everybody, welcome to the Lore Lodge podcast. We just got through about half an hour of technical difficulties because Discord hates my guts. I'm sick, Aidan's sick, neither of us have COVID. That's the update for today. That's it. That's the podcast. Goodbye.
Pretty much. Yep. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah.
Good lord. Yeah, I think the most important new part of this is that I actually decorated the walls behind me.
There you go. That's a step up.
I was streaming on Twitch the other day, and I looked at the thing, and I was like, this is boring. This looks like I'm in a cubicle. I'm kind of in a cubicle. I'm in my parents' basement.
Oh, you're in the basement.
Actually,
that makes sense.
Yeah, now I'm in the basement. That's actually part of what I wanted to talk about today because I'm excited. You know, assuming everything goes through with the leasing process, I should be getting a new apartment, one complex over from where I lived 3 weeks ago, and it's going to be a 2-bedroom, and we're going to be able to then set up a studio in that 2-bedroom where we'll have a big table, and there'll be cameras, and we'll each have a desk, and I'll put a futon in there. It's going to be nice.
Yes.
However, it's also going to be super duper expensive. So hopefully this channel actually continues to grow and do well. And if you're watching this and you haven't subbed to the Patreon, please, $1 a month would really help. One complex over. I am struggling. I also tried to file as a business, and I got an email from LegalZoom yesterday, and they were like, "Yeah, there was something wrong with your information, so we need you to call us and clarify some stuff." And of course, they sent this to me the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. So,
yeah, naturally,
I have to wait 3 days to call them. Also, Comcast, who I called nearly a month ago to cancel my internet plan when I moved out, just charged me for internet at an address I don't live at. So I am just struggling with adulthood at the moment. I'm not enjoying it. I would rather go back to like 2016 when I was not in charge of anything and everyone was playing Pokemon Go.
Oh my God, was that long ago?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Well, that was when I was at this all-time low concert last night. It was
how was that, by the way?
Bands. It was awesome. I was in the front row for about 3 hours of it.
Oh boy.
It was a festival, so it started at 4 and it went till 10. And I was in the front row for a bunch of it, and of course, if you've ever been in the front row of a concert, there's a barricade there. And there's about 2,000-3,000 people behind me, all of them pushing forward. And at one point, I just felt like the crushing, like I can still feel it right here.
Oh God.
Like the bruising. And of course, this is the exact set of ribs that I broke in college. So I was like, I'm like leaning up against it. And of course, I had to go to the concert alone because I couldn't find anybody to go with me. And,
yeah, if I didn't have mono,
yeah,
I would have gone with you.
Shouldn't be making out with all those random dudes at bars.
You know, but they're just like when they lean over and they say you come here often, they just got the hair flip going, and you know they're all nice in a nice suit. It's hard to say no.
It would help if you stopped drinking all those daiquiris.
They taste good, man. What can I say?
It's just, I was at our local diner. I was at Manella's back in like probably must have been 12th grade, maybe freshman year of college with Tommy and John Brennan. And John was looking at the menu, and he was old enough to drink, but we weren't. And he just goes, "What's a strawberry daiquiri?" We're like, "That's not."
Oh my God.
That's not how that's pronounced, John. It's not a daiquiri at all. Oh my God. End my suffering. End it right now. Also, I'm going to really quickly open up a second screen on here so that I can actually see what people are saying.
That's a good call. Yeah, we're suffering together. It's fine. 24K Zeus 213. What is YouTube TV?
What is YouTube TV?
I'm not sure. That's why I asked.
Wait, no, I have my parents have YouTube TV. It's like YouTube's version of streaming.
Glass of water, you're correct. That is how, in fact, I got mono. Carly, you're absolutely correct. Wawa is vastly superior to Sheets.
Oh my god, it's not even a competition.
Yeah.
Look, listen, I love our brothers and sisters over in Pittsburgh. At least you're not in Ohio, but Sheets is it's not the same thing.
Also,
It's just
Carly and
it's
anybody else who's in the tri-state area, we're planning on doing some form of meet get together, probably in October. We're thinking of doing something Halloween themed, just because it'd be very
yes.
on theme for us. Um, yeah, I mean that's not limited to the tri-state area. It's just more along the lines of I feel like that makes sense considering the like we're not expecting people to fly in from like Arizona. So
Dude,
and just a heads
I
up, it's
just know
probably gonna be
opening.
like 18 plus. Just
Yeah, we will consider making exceptions to that, but it'll have to be on a case by case basis.
yeah.
So if you are under 18 and you want to come to the Aiden with the 3 a.m. McDonald's run, it was midnight. It was midnight.
Was this something you put on your
I was in
Twitch or?
no, I was in the Discord with a couple of the guys in
Ah,
the like the I think we were in the cabin or the campfire. I don't know. It was one of the Patreon exclusives ones.
got it.
And no, I went to McDonald's at midnight because I was hungry. Um, and then I got 20 McNuggets and 2 cheeseburgers and a Big Mac and fries. And
You got two cheeseburgers and a Big
the
Mac?
next day was spent in pain.
Yeah, I can
It was
imagine.
my stomach was just like falling apart at the seams. Oh my god. It was rough. But yeah,
McDonald's is a tough time on the stomach, but you know what I feel like is usually the worst on the stomach and like really quickly, but it tastes so good going down.
Taco Bell.
That's up there too, but Five Guys.
You
Five
you had
Guys
trouble
is
with Five Guys?
Five Guys is fantastic going down. It's not all the time. Might have just been a specific place I went to, but there was a couple times where I went to Five Guys, tasted great going down. 30 minutes later, my stomach was like, "Hey, you suck."
I I know you have mono, but why are you now from South Jersey?
I don't know.
like I don't know if you guys in the chat hear this the way I don't know if any of you are from like PA, New York, Jersey, like, but Aiden has suddenly but he's now like he's a fucking Guido from, you know, down in Camden.
I don't know. I haven't noticed it.
I will tell everybody in the chat. I have commissioned the Wendigo milk shirt. Um, it is coming. I'm upset that it came to this, but when you demand it, it gets done.
Somebody said Five Guys shakes will mess you up. It's Megan 4K. I haven't had them, but yeah, it makes sense. I'm not surprised.
I think you guys might just be lactose intolerant.
No, I'm not talking about the shakes. I'm talking about the burger.
Are you like allergic to peanuts? Mildly?
No,
Is that
no,
just the peanut oil? I don't know.
no. I was wolfing
Also,
down peanuts on the beach the other day.
also, somebody asked in the chat, what are we going to be talking about today? The truth is, I've been sick for a week. He's been sick for a week, and it's
Oh, it's
Labor
been
Day
longer than a
weekend.
week.
And neither of us were really sure even what to discuss today. I did want to, so this is probably going to mostly be a filler episode of the show.
We can honestly,
Which
let's
it's
just have
probably
a
just going to be
rolling.
mostly Q&A. I
Yeah, I
think
was
it's
gonna
just
say
going to
let's
be
have a rolling Q&A. Why not? Feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, so this is just going to be a very casual, like chilling out kind of deal. I did just dunk on somebody on TikTok for suggesting that King Arthur was English and not Welsh. Um, Aiden, as you know, this is not a thing to challenge me on.
Do not try and come at him about anything in relation to the Welsh versus the English. He will bury you.
Especially not King Arthur.
Yeah.
Like King Arthur and Owen Glendower, two people
Yes.
that you should not test me on.
Yes.
I know I've had conversations with Welsh people where I've mentioned one of these things because I'm going to school at a Welsh university, and they've been like, "Wait, who's Owen Glendower?" And I'm like, "That's like the same as talking to an American." I'm going, "Wait, who was George Washington?" Which I know that happens. I know there are people out there who, if you ask them who the first president was, they're like Lincoln. But
Wait, what?
oh, you got to go online. You got to go on YouTube after this and look up like um going on the street and asking questions about American history. Like it's a lot of them are like Fox News, but you get the same thing with like various other like I know
No.
Vox has done a few,
Yep.
Breitbart did it a bunch of times. It was the thing back in 2016, 2017 to go on the street and ask people questions about history and politics and just watch them flounder. Um,
Just really quickly, we got a super chat from BD
I
Clink for
saw.
$4.99. Thank you, sir. He says, "Going to Vermont, what should I look for?" And my response would be evergreens, because there's a lot of them there. Beyond that, I don't know. That's your territory.
Uh, you might see Bernie Sanders.
Yep,
Um,
you might.
Depending on your political affiliation, that could either be a good thing or a bad thing. Um,
Yep.
let's see. What else? See, Vermont. I mean, that's the same kind of deal. You're up with like the typical like Wendigo territory. As I don't know any. I'm working on collecting all of the local folk tales from all 50 states thing, but it's taking a while because on top of so for those of you who don't keep up with us like video for video, uh, and this is another thing I want to talk about alongside the new studio and all that, but we have Monday story time, which is fictional stories that I have to compile, read, edit, and then send over to Aidan for him to do the video editing and uploading. And then we have Tuesday history videos, which I have to research, film, and send over to Aidan for editing and uploading. We have the Wednesday story time, which we have to compile, edit, send over to Aidan so that Aidan can read it, um, edit it, and upload it. And then we have the Friday, Saturday lore videos, which I have to read, compile, film, send them over to Aidan to edit, upload, and then we have this.
Keep in mind for
So
the
here,
for the just to add to that, for the Tuesday and now Saturday things, because it seems like people like it more when it's uploaded on Saturday. It's not like Aiden's just like taking this one thing and then working with it. Like, he has to figure out what topic he's going to do, and then he has to research that topic from multiple sources to compile a factually accurate and interesting, like, 10 to 20-minute video. And then he has to compile that information into something that he can flow with. It seems like you're going to steer more towards the conversational style, which I
yeah,
personally
I
like more.
reading the scripts
Yeah, I just did, guys.
it's
Just
just
as a heads up, like, I think he should do the conversational thing more for his own sanity,
yeah,
because having to edit him while he's trying to match a script perfectly, like, makes me want to give him a hug, because the amount of stress he puts on himself to make sure he's hitting it perfectly. I'm like, my guy.
it's not good. It looks rough. I
Yeah,
look
you
like I
don't
want to
need to
jump
do it.
off a
I mean, you
bridge.
can, like, you do it inevitably, but it's just like you could have so much more fun just the conversational thing.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
that's
I
the
did
way to
that.
go.
That's what I did with the video for this week, the Nathan Hale video, which I don't know if you had a chance to look at and edit yet, but it shouldn't be that long. It's probably gonna be like a 12 to 15 minute one. I
Yeah.
think my recording of it was only 20 minutes long.
Hmm.
But that's what I did with this one is I just sat down and I had my notes and I just read through and went off the top of my head and I looked up a few quotes and whatever. I've been working on the Brian Baru one that's going to be next week. That was the one of the High Kings of Ireland. He's kind of like the most famous one.
Oh,
Um,
cool. Remind me, what's the topic for tomorrow?
Nathan Hale.
Right. Okay. Just making sure. Also, glass
Also,
of
if you
water.
want to do a John Paul Jones one when you're healthy again, I'm fine with you doing that. Like
Oh, I might
you're
have
you're
to.
welcome to do that.
Okay, cool. Thank you
Um,
for reminding me that that was in the thing, because I will. I absolutely will.
yeah,
Just a heads up, glass of water for $5. Thank you very much. Said
go buy
here,
some
go
Nyquil
buy
and
some
throat
NyQuil
lots.
and then throw it launch. Believe it or not, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a Halls in right now, and I have some NyQuil. Yeah, I have NyQuil in my over there, and there's some Dayquil in the bathroom. I've been doing whatever. This is the
I
most I've talked since like Friday.
Yeah. Back when I back when I hadn't actually been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder yet,
Mm.
I I I developed a bit of a Nyquil habit because I couldn't sleep. So there was a period of time where I was taking Nyquil like every night for 6 months when I was like 21.
Oh my
um,
god.
the fun thing about Nyquil is if you take it and then you wake up like 2.5 hours in to it, you completely dissociate from reality. Uh,
Interesting.
it
How
is.
so?
I just remember there were nights where like my phone would buzz next to me or something like that, and it would just like it would wake me up, and I would just open my eyes, and everything would be swimming, and my like vision would be kind of funny, and I'd have auditory hallucinations, and
Oh
like
Jesus.
yeah, it was one of those kind of things where you felt like you're not quite in your body, like there's lag whenever you try to move. Um,
That's a great way to describe that.
who just popped into the chat to say skinwalkers and wendigos are fake?
Emmos
Are you new here?
opinions on
um,
chalky milk from critic. To be honest with you, I just had milk for in May for the first time since I was like a toddler. Um, cause I when my mom was trying to switch me off of formula to milk, I just wasn't having it. I just didn't
sorry,
like
what
it.
was Obama doing?
Huh?
You said Obama was trying to switch you off of milk to
No, my
formula.
mom was trying to switch me off of formula onto milk. I just
Mm.
wasn't having it. I didn't like the taste, but I liked orange juice, so I would just drink a ton of orange juice when I was a kid. That's how I got a bunch of vitamin C and stuff like that. But I hadn't tried milk since then, and this was back in May, and I was convinced I hated milk because I anytime I would smell it, I would just be like, oh, like it's so bad. And then I was on a road trip with a buddy of mine. He's like, "What do you mean what do you mean you haven't had milk?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just didn't like it." So we bought a thing of milk, and I said, I was like, "I'll try it, whatever." I tried it. It was okay. Like I didn't gag or anything, but it wasn't great. So chalky milk.
I just I just
Uh,
enjoy the thought of you and Rex on a road trip and him like force feeding you milk. like I just
yeah. And we were in this little like
no Emmos,
log
I am
cabin thing.
23-year-old, 23 years old believing in that. Um, um,
Fire Z says Obama is
Obama's
Aiden's
Aiden's
mom
mom.
confirmed.
Yeah, I can confirm that. I've been to his house.
My last name's actually Care.
Good lord. Oh my god. Glass of water for $5. Your thoughts on sleep paralysis demons? Um, I I am I would like more research to be done on the phenomenon because I feel like it's kind of been written off as like having an overactive imagination. But so many people experience it, and so many people experience the same exact thing, and it's cross cultural, especially with the hag being probably the most widely reported one. Um, like there are so many people across the world who report waking up in the middle of the night unable to move with an old lady sitting at the end of their bed saying their name. Like it's uncanny. Um, so I think that we've maybe written sleep paralysis demons off as the function of an overactive imagination or just kind of like a waking nightmare kind of deal. And I think it would be at least worth studying more.
I would agree.
Also, I don't. What is this? What is this logical fallacy here of if I believe in Wendigos, I must also believe in the boogeyman and Bigfoot? I don't understand. Yes, if you believe in, if you're Christian, you must also be Muslim. Um,
Oh, that's great.
if you're an Eagles fan, you must also be a Cowboys fan. Like
Oh.
this is not a this line of logic doesn't make sense. For example, I believed in Carson Wentz. I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. um, and that's within my own football team. Uh,
I
but
believe
no,
in
I mean,
Harvey Dent. Sorry.
also, like, when you say skinwalkers aren't real, what do you mean? Because skinwalkers, as in Native American shamans who perform rituals and put on animal pelts for the purpose of taking on the form of a coyote, uh, is a very real thing. That's a, and whether you believe it or not, that is something that people do actually go through the ritual, with the intention of doing that. So, like,
Okay, wait.
obviously they're real.
Real
They're
quick,
a real thing.
Matreon just said if you're from New York, you must hate New Jersey. I would say that's a bad example because kind of yeah, that actually is true. If you're from
Yeah.
any state surrounding New Jersey, you have to hate New Jersey.
If you're from any state,
Yes.
period. I
If you
had a
don't,
theory yesterday. I was talking to some guys from Chicago
yep.
at this All Time Low concert in Philadelphia because they drove 16 hours from Chicago to Philadelphia to see the Wonder Years. Not even to see All Time Low. It was to see the Wonder Years.
That's insane.
There was a significant number of people who came from Chicago to see the Wonder Years. And to be fair, the Wonder Years were great. It was an awesome show. And Philly's their hometown, and they haven't performed live in over a year and a half. So like they were awesome. They did a
Oh, what was
great
it? Their
job.
first show back or something?
It was their first show back in Philadelphia, and I think they said 680 days. And
Wow.
they're from Lansdale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're like a hometown band for us.
Got it.
One of their songs is the chorus is "I came out swinging from a South Philly basement," um,
That's great.
which Lansdale is not in South Philly, but I think they moved to South Philly when they got started. Um, but yeah, no, there's they've got a line that's I've been avoiding Rittenhouse like the plague. Like it's like a lot of their songs have
That's
very
great.
direct Philadelphia references.
Yeah.
There's one about like Center City and like just all these different references they make. But we were talking about it and how everyone in like the Midwest, if you include Pennsylvania in that, which I guess like Western Pennsylvania is kind of Midwestern. Um,
Real quick, I don't know if
but
you just
everyone in the Midwest hates Ohio. And my theory
yes.
is that this is because Ohio is surrounded by Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, culturally. Like, so Michigan, and I think it comes down to if you're in Ohio, the likelihood that somebody you ran into went to a Big Ten school for college, or somebody they are related to went to a Big Ten school for college, means that you likely grew up hearing somebody hate on Ohio constantly. Because
Hmm.
if you go to Penn State, Pitt, and Pitt's not Big Ten, but Penn State, Pitt, Michigan State, or Wisconsin, it's just everybody hates Ohio State out of that group. So if you grew up around Ohio, you probably heard people just hating on Ohio because of football rivalries.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I think that's why Ohio gets so much shit. But then there's also Midwest emo as a genre of music, which I saw a meme today, and it was somebody screaming about how they sit when they pee sometimes, and somebody grabbed a guitar and started playing like a little acoustic riff over it, and it sounded exactly like Midwest emo, like
Oh
like
my
the front
god.
bottoms and like that kind of stuff. And I was like,
That is weird. Real quick, Russell the Outlaw said for $10. Thank you very much, sir. That's very beneficial.
thank you,
Hey,
sir.
so this last Saturday, my friend went up to the bluff I told you about, and he said he was chased off by a hellhound type creature. I'm going this weekend. What should I take for protection? My initial response would be, why are you going?
I
Just
mean, I
don't
understand
go.
the curiosity. This is some white people shit that we're doing right here.
Yeah, like
Um,
I would go, but you
Russell,
shouldn't
you
go.
just you just outed yourself as white, by the way. Um, that is something only white people do. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly how you described it off the top of my head right now, but I mean the big thing would be like, don't go alone. Don't get out of your car if you don't have to, and if you insist on getting out of your car, um, a shotgun loaded with like buckshot is pretty much good protection against anything. Um, and if you're worried about supernatural stuff, rock salt. You know, I hate to say it, but Supernatural got most of their lore right in
Yeah.
the first five
Iron as
seasons.
well. Iron will just bring like a crowbar with you as
Yeah,
well.
you can't rely on it perfectly for everything, but generally, if there's something that you're curious about and you watch an episode of Supernatural on it, you're gonna get the right general idea. But
It's
yeah,
a good starting point at the least.
yeah, rock salt and iron are both generally used as protective wards. Also, if you're dealing with something that's like Native American, white ash, or sage are both good. So, that might be. I can't. Russell, where was the bluff again? Have
Well,
you considered that Ohio is just garbage?
Oh yeah, we've all considered that because it's
I've,
true.
I've been to Ohio a few times as an adult. I was stunned every time by the utter lack of things to do.
Yeah. Have you ever?
Also,
Aidan,
every sign I saw, every single sign I saw, not every single, but most of the signs I saw were like, as I was getting within an hour of Columbus,
Yep.
almost all of them were like about how they had the world's largest adult gift shop. And I was like, how many signs do you need to tell people this? Like,
Yeah.
it was like starting a while out and just kind of like slowly working its way in. And I'm like, this is weird. And of course, after each of those signs, there will be some sign from your local Baptist church about how you're going to burn in hell for your sins.
It amazes me that the line.
If the reason you're going to Columbus, Ohio, is to go to the world's largest adult gift shop, then I think the Baptists might be right about you.
Yeah. It amazes me that the line between Ohio and Pennsylvania is just so blatant. Like driving east on the end of the road trip with Rex, we approached the border, and immediately like it got more hilly, it got more green, and I'm like, oh my god, like Pennsylvania is just blatantly better than Ohio. Like at the border, it was
rough.
crazy.
And also like you get into Ohio, and it's just flat.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Flat. And Pennsylvania's all mountains.
Yeah.
Like it's actually kind of crazy if you look at a topographical map of Pennsylvania, how much of the state is mountains.
Yeah.
Because in the southeast you don't really have mountains, and in the northwest you don't really have mountains. But it's like the middle 80% of the state is Appalachia.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
And people are gonna be like, it's Appalachia, and it's like, if you go to the Appalachians in Pennsylvania, the people that live there pronounce it Appalachia. It's a park in central Wisconsin. Ooh. Okay, Wisconsin gets a lot of reports regarding dog-like things, and one of the most common ones is the dog man. I think this is one of the ones that I don't like. I don't agree. What?
Can we acknowledge the rest of that statement that he wrote? He said, it's a park in central Wisconsin. Also, I'm half native, raised redneck, so I'm about to do some dumb white stuff. That is one of the best things I've ever read. So thank you for typing it. Also,
yes, technically they're not real mountains for like skiing and whatever, but
yes.
Like
really quickly, so we don't miss the other super chats. Glass of water for $5. Thank you very much. Says, white people and horror go together like PB&J sandwiches. I would absolutely agree. Just because it's an interesting thing. Right above that, Trey Schweitzer says, hey, me and my friends want to go to the woods last night. There was a bad smell, and the woods went silent except for whistling, and it followed us for a 3-mile walk back to town. Yeah, it sounds... We all know what that sounds like at this point.
You did the right thing walking.
Yes.
Don't run if that happens. Trying to see. I'm just.
Carly Oswald said, my friend is going camping in Maine, and I told her to stay on the trails with someone and keep her son close. Also, if you hear something that you didn't, if you see something that you didn't, that's a very good way to look at that. Uh, Pyre Z for $2, thank you very much. Says, hope you guys are having a great evening. Thank you. We are, despite our illnesses.
Thank you.
Uh,
Dying a little bit inside.
yeah,
Why is
dying.
iron important in supernatural? I actually don't have a good answer to that off the top of my head. It's just consistent.
Yep.
Like iron just seems to do it.
Pyre Z, Wisconsin just has a bunch of furries with dog personas. That's incredible.
Yeah, but that's what I was trying to say. I was on a show. I was on another person's podcast. I was on a Cryptid Paranormal Committee's podcast like a month ago, and we were talking about the Dogman thing, and I can't get behind it because with the Wendigo you have this like hundreds of years of Native American lore, and with Skinwalkers you have hundreds of years of Native American lore, and with Black Dogs you have hundreds of years of English and Welsh and Native American. Really, everybody's got a black dog. Um, you know, Norway, you've got hundreds of years of trolls. Iceland, hundreds of years of elves. And then the Dogman just kind of like pops up. And you get this really detailed description, and it goes in all the newspapers, and then they write a song about it, and it just feels like the kind of thing where they made it up for the newspapers. Because I think it was in the 70s, the first appearance of it, and now people see the Dogman all over, but nobody's. It doesn't feel as genuine to me as a lot of these other stories. So I don't know. I don't I obviously could be convinced if there were compelling evidence, but I don't think the Dogman is really what it's said to be.
Two things. One, BD Clink, why do you want to ski with a Wendy boy? That's what I want to know. What is the appeal there?
I think
I
he means
don't.
a ski walker.
God damn you. And then Holly Marquise. There's a cult in my town that is full of people who think they have the spirits of wolves and go around howling at night. Are they skinwalkers or do I call 911? Yeah, I think they just need help.
Yeah, that's
I think
that reminds me
they
of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
why?
There's a cult in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood that lives under Rome, and they're like the Sons of Brutus, I think they're called, and they wear wolf skins and they attack you and they howl, and you have to fight them off. And there's this whole scene where you have to go into the catacombs and chase them around and
So it
all
seems
that.
like these are just the furries of wherever this small town
Yeah,
is that are.
but in a way, I mean, that is like if you get into the more like the actual ritual and everything of the Skinwalker stuff, like that is not far off. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, the idea behind Skinwalkers is that they do get, they perform a ritual so that they can either spiritually or physically turn into uh, these animals. So, eh.
Yeah, debatable, I guess.
I
Glass
mean,
of
they're
water
definitely not
for.
skinwalkers unless they're actually going through specifically the Navajo cultural ritual for becoming a skinwalker.
Yes.
But it's not. It would be of the same general practice, I guess.
Mm. Glass of water for $5. Thank you very much. Says thoughts
Thank you.
on leprechauns.
Leprechauns. That's gonna need to be a lore video
It's a good question.
because here's the thing. Whenever I say something about Irish stuff, I need to be very careful
Yeah, ever since the
because
incident,
the
yeah.
the thing about Irish people is Irish people are awesome. They're a lot of fun to drink with. Got some really cool stories. I'm doing a video on Brian Baru. I'm working on it right now. Uh, but when you get something wrong, or even that they interpret to be wrong, even if you're right, if it crosses, if it's against what they believe to be the truth, they will not hesitate to tell you this. Um, Irish people are kind of uh, aggressive in their habit of correcting people. So I will do a
At
lore
least on
video on
TikTok, yeah.
leprechauns. Yeah. I did not know Coke was originally green, but I guess that kind of makes sense.
Does it? Does it?
I mean, the recipe was a bit different.
Fair. There was actual
I mean,
cocaine in it.
actual cocaine. Miss those days. Um, it's a better time, simpler time
Oh,
when
if
you could
only
just
we could bring it back.
go to the pharmacy and get cocaine soda.
Why not, right?
Yeah. Original
Captain.
recipe Coca Cola will not be at the Halloween party.
Well,
Um,
yeah, that'll be at the after party. Um, Captain Alien for $5 said nothing. Thanks.
well, thank you. Is that is that a is that a Pepe?
That is a Pepe, yeah.
Is that a Pepe with science lab goggles?
I believe so. We need more Pepes back.
Okay, but also people who would say keck like out loud, and I didn't like those people.
Keck.
I didn't like the people who said keck out loud, like because it was like saying LOL out loud, but somehow worse.
Lol.
Because you'd sit there and somebody would be like, you'd say something funny and they'd be like, "Ha, keck." I just this the Irish would come out in me and I'd want to strangle them.
Yep. Did you
You're asking
ever
me so many questions, glass of water. Oh my god.
That's a good thing. Did you ever consider getting one of the Kekistan flags?
No. I have a Templar flag here.
So glass of water
It's
for
over
five
there.
dollars. Thank you again very much. Um,
Krampus.
asks Krampus Disney live action remakes question milkshakes and smoothies question thoughts.
There's
Okay,
like
so
a lot of
haven't seen
questions.
Krampus, so I can't say
I
anything about it.
I know. Well, Krampus is based off of an actual folklore thing. I should probably get ready to do Christmas material.
It's September just started.
I know, but we're already planning like 8 weeks ahead,
Yeah, that's fair. In
and
terms
that's
of
getting
live
into
action
December.
remakes, yeah, it's true. In terms of live action remakes, I get why they're doing them because they're
They often
simple
feel
and
unnecessary to
easy.
me.
They're extremely unnecessary, but they're a very easy moneymaker for studios. So like I get why they do them. Um, you know,
I was down with it
they're not
until
great.
they did Mulan and filmed it in the same province where they have a concentration camp for Uyghurs, and then Disney thanked the paramilitary organization that's executing Uyghurs for letting them film in that region of China.
Yep.
That seemed a bit tone deaf to me, especially when you consider how nationalist of a film Mulan is, and
But
how
Aiden,
like,
you forget how much money that China makes, or you forget how much money that
yeah.
Hollywood makes off of China.
Oh, I don't forget. I think about it every day.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Do you
yeah,
remember the
it's
fact that they intentionally involve Chinese characters now in blockbusters and
yeah.
set them like, for example, The Meg. They intentionally filmed the or like set the last third of that film in China so they could market it to that audience.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not watch the Meg.
It was fun. It was also
Yeah.
clearly baited.
I yeah. I don't like what Disney is doing when it comes to
What it has
China because
become.
it's very unethical. So I just have an issue with Disney in general now. For those of you that didn't see, I actually got the people who did the Satan shoes with Lil Nas X reached out to me and gave me a little token that I can redeem for merchandise in 2024 when the Disney trademark trademark or copyright, I can't remember which one, on Mickey Mouse runs out. They're gonna make Mickey Mouse merch, but they can't
Nice.
say that yet. So now it's just called Famous Mouse by Famous Animation Company. Um,
That's great.
but yeah, so that was fun. That was my first official collaboration with any like big company. Was basically like getting after Disney, which I feel is appropriate. Uh, but yeah, long story short, not a fan of Disney live action remakes, but I am a fan of especially the metal version of "I'll Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan. And I was listening to it in the car the other day, and it struck me that it's just Confucianism. But it also struck me that you could 100% make a Jordan Peterson edit of that entire song.
Oh, I need to see that now.
Like you could do it because he'd be like, "You must be swift as a coursing river, uh, with the force of a great typhoon." Like you could do the whole thing.
If you're not going to rescue your father from the underworld, then what are you doing? Yeah. It's that you have to climb the hierarchy, so it's
tranquil as a forest, but a fire within.
Incredible.
So I just remember his whole thing on Joe Rogan a few years back, where he was just like talking about how a good man isn't somebody who's weak. It's somebody who has like the capacity to be a killer but holds it inside of them. I'm just sitting there like, this is literally what the Mulan song is about. Also, that song, when I extraordinarily sexist. Like there's a ton of moments in the song where he's just referring to weak men as women. It's like
brutal.
Everything that it implies, they're like, oof. The 90s were a different time. Still slaps though. It still slaps.
Hard not to, right?
Yeah. It gave me whiplash because I was listening to the Peyton Parrish version of it, and I just had it on Spotify's shuffle for his account.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! And it goes from this metal remake of "I'll Make a Man Out of You" to a cover of "God Gave Me You," the country song, and I'm like, woo, 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 woo.
Did you like that cover I sent you, by the way?
Which one was it?
The 1,000 Miles cover.
Yeah.
In Blink-182 style. I thought it's so good.
I love Alex Melton. He's awesome.
It's great. Real quick before we miss him, Jive Money 7 for $5. Thank you very much. Said, if you kill a fresh,
is this a
fresh? I think it's a fleshy. If you kill a fleshy that making itself look like a human, would it stay in human form or turn back after you killed it? Excuse me.
Okay, so first I need to acknowledge that he said Freshly because I hate Freshly's marketing. I hate their marketing so much.
What is Freshly?
It's one of those like meal kit delivery things, or I think theirs are actually just pre-made meals, but they're like, millennials are ditching takeout for Freshly, and I'm like, millennials aren't ditching anything for anything. Like, if you tell me that millennials are, if you start your ad with millennials are, I assume that millennials are doing whatever the opposite is.
Yep.
It's like millennials killed the housing industry. It's like, no, millennials can't afford homes.
Yes.
Because Gen X crashed the market.
Captain Alien for $5. Thank you very much, sir. Says, as a straight male.
I didn't get a chance to answer the question.
Sorry. I thought you did.
Slow down now. What are you doing? We should do an entire podcast where we just talk in Jordan Peterson voices.
I'd be down. I gotta get better at the accent first, though.
Yeah.
But can you do this?
So that's the thing.
But can you do this?
If you're talking about a skinwalker,
nope.
I would say that it either stays. It's hard to answer the question. I mean, from what I've read, they don't transform back into animal form, and with Wendigos, we found some oddly proportioned skeletons, but we've never been able to prove that one was a Wendigo. So I would say it probably stays in whatever form it's in when you killed it. If that makes sense. Yeah, as a straight man, y'all be looking.
That's the next one I was going to get to. Yes, what is it? It was Captain Alien for $5. Thank you very much, sir. Says, as a straight man, y'all be looking damn fine with a little smirky face. Says Ryan Reynolds, who? And you know what?
Yep.
You just made my week, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Somebody said, Hayden, what do you think of the rise of paganism in the U.S.? Okay, so here's the thing. If people are sticking to the actual practices of Norse paganism, for example, go for it. Fine, fine by me. I don't care. You do you. Um, I think as long as you're not kind of romanticizing it, um, to for the sake of like I know a lot of white supremacists. I know that makes me sound bad to say I know a lot of white supremacists, but I promise it was for good
Do
reasons.
you actually?
Yeah, from college.
Oh right, yeah. Well, you did
Remember,
box
because I
one.
boxed. There was the whole boxing a Nazi incident.
Have we told that story on here yet?
I've told that story so many times. I don't know if we've told it on here, but in college I had a boxing match with a Nazi. Um, I had an interesting college experience, but a lot of them were like Odinists or whatever, and would wear like Thor's hammer and whatever. It was
Huh?
stupid. But if you're following it because for whatever reason that's what you connect with the most spiritually, or you genuinely believe in it, that's fine. You do you. I As long as you're not doing it for any you know heinous reasons. Obviously, human sacrifice is not good. So as long as you're not practicing that aspect of it, that's also okay. I actually had this argument with a friend of mine last night, because I was talking specifically about neo paganism and Wicca, because Wicca was invented in the 20th century. It is not paganism. It's a fraud. It's like Scientology. Um, dare I say it's like Mormonism. Um, but and I might get a lot of hate for this, but if because there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm a witch, and there's a difference between like actual like medieval and classic era and Neolithic, and basically there's a difference between actual witchcraft and Wicca, and I think a lot of people don't really realize that. They don't understand the origins of what Wicca is, and I've been going back and forth on whether or not to do a video on this, because it's just one of those things that's gonna really bug people. um, but the issue with Wicca is that it's deliberately mischaracterizing Celtic paganism. Um, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about Celtic paganism. Most of what we've been able to find out has been reconstructed either from analyzing loaner words between Celtic languages like Welsh and Irish, or uh, Christianized versions of Welsh history. And so I can hear that guitar, by the way.
Oh
Um,
really?
yeah. So I have an issue with Wicca specifically, because it had nefarious purposes when it was created. Um, so I'm not happy about that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, if you're practicing paganism because it's what you connect with the most, like go for it. I mean, I guess I'm personally a Christian, but you do you. Just make sure that if you're gonna do it, you actually do your research and you follow the actual practices. Otherwise, you're gonna have people like me who are gonna roll their eyes when you tell them that you're a Celtic pagan who is friends with Fenrir, because those are just two completely different cultures. Um, like I've had people in my comments where like, oh yeah, I know Jormungand, he's chill, and I'm like, he is the world serpent and he lives at the bottom of the ocean. I don't think you share a cubicle with him. Um, what we got going on here? What else is in here? I have not heard of Jonathan Young. I'll have to look that up. I'll look that up right now. Maybe I have heard of him and I'm not thinking of it. Jonathan Young, musical artist. After you're talking about, he does not look familiar to me, but I'll look into him. Gamer Tech Aiden. Sleepy
Yeah, he
dogs
caught me
comedy. Okay,
red-handed on
yeah.
that one.
All right. I'm Gen Z and we should not exist. Hey, hey. Are we Gen Z?
Technically, I believe we are. Yeah.
I feel like I've had a bunch of millennials tell me I'm Gen Z, and I've had a bunch of Gen Z people tell me I'm millennial.
Yeah.
Like in the Discord, like we had an argument about it, and it was like everyone was like, "You're a millennial," and I'm like, and me and Pep were like, "No, no, we're not." Like,
the range born between 95 and 2000 is weird. Like
oh, so
it's
is yeah, is he like Dan Vasc then? Because he does a lot of good metal covers stuff. Between I feel like if you were born in like between 95 and 2000, there's like a little micro generation there where you can kind of choose which one you want to identify with more. I always say that the difference is if you remember 9/11. If you remember 9/11, you're a millennial. If you don't remember 9/11, you're Gen Z.
interesting.
And in that way, people born in 97 like me could be either one, because I know people born in 97 who don't remember 9/11, but I have distinct memories of that day. Like,
Yep.
I was like 4. I didn't. I think it might have been 3 actually. I didn't like watch the news and see the planes crash into the towers, but like I remember the general panic. So, um, although I guess that would kind of rule out people born in 2000 because they almost certainly would not have memories of 9/11.
Yeah, but people born in 2000 are definitely Gen Z.
Yeah. I do not agree that Gen Z spans from 97 to 2012. I just do not agree with that. I sent something to your email. Can you please react on stream? Is it the Lore Lodge
I would imagine so.
one?
Yeah.
Let me. It's gonna take me a second to pull that up, but I mean, since we're doing the kind of like, since we're just kind of vibing on stream tonight, I see no reason why we can't do that.
Yeah, this really do be
This is the one.
a just
Please
chatting
react on
stream.
I swear to God, if this is something really questionable and I open it right now, I'm going to fight you.
Oh, I can't wait to pull this up finally. Hang on, I'm almost there. I'm pulling it up now. Hold up.
This is like the most niche thing I have ever seen, and it applies perfectly.
I have to download it.
Do it. It's not anything sketchy. But Jive Money 7 definitely has us pinned. He has got us pegged.
It's still downloading. My computer's running slow right now because I'm running all this different stream stuff. But
Yeah.
it's coming up
I
in a
have
second.
started to figure out Streamlabs on my own.
There we go.
I may evolve past the need for you.
Oh boy.
Is it downloading? Tannerite Roombas for indoors, Assault Wendigos for outdoors.
Oh, I love it. That was fantastic.
Little known fact, the Second Amendment applies to owning your own Wendigo.
Most people aren't aware of that, but it's in the fine print.
It's a really small footnote. Let's see. Have you studied runes at all? Well, when you say runes, that can mean a few things. If you're talking about like Elder and Younger Futhark, yes, a little bit in college, because I took an entire course on Vikings. But I haven't gone into it extensively. I want to learn the alphabet because I think it would be kind of cool to be able to read stuff. But currently, my mind is focused on learning Welsh and then Irish and then probably Norwegian, because there's a lot of movies from Norway that look really good, but I hate subtitles. I'm one of those people. I will not watch subtitles because when I watch a movie, I want to look for all the fine little details because like it's you know um filmmaking is such a like specific process, and then people will put subtitles on a movie, and it's just not. What's this? Oh, thank you. And it's in the Lore Lodge mug. My mom just brought me tea.
There you go. That's very nice.
Yeah,
How can I join
Looking
your
at mug
guys'
isn't all
Discord? Would
bad.
love to
It's
be
not
in it.
all bad. If you
Jive
go
Money
to
7 is gonna be.
aidanmattis.card.co,
Yeah, it should be in the
let me
description.
AIDAN.MATTIS. No, it's Aidan Mattis, not Aidan Mattis. At card.co. If you go to that link that I just sent in the chat, um, that has Patreon, Discord, Twitch, Instagram, PayPal, everything. So if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, help us fund the new studio. Like I said before, the $1 tier actually really helps. I don't think people realize quite how much that means because that really does add up. I did the math. If 10% of my TikTok followers sub to the $1 Patreon, uh, that would be $70,000 a month. Obviously, I don't need $70,000 a month, but my point in saying that is
Well,
if
we need it though. If we're splitting it
okay, yeah,
properly, we
yeah.
need it.
Well, okay. I don't think either of us need $35,000 a month.
Oh, a
My point,
month. Sorry, I thought you meant a
yeah,
year.
not per
Whoops.
month. So, but yeah, if 1%, if 10% of my TikTok followers subscribe to the $1 Patreon tier, we'd be bringing in $10,000 a month off of Patreon, or $70,000 off a month off of Patreon before taxes and fees and whatever. So it would be less. But I mean, that would be beyond enough for us to fund new studio and good equipment. And part of what I want to do is create a studio that we can rent out to other podcasters who are just getting started, who don't have the money to put in a few $1,000s for computers and lighting and microphones and all of that. And we can rent it out for 10-20 bucks an hour, and then let people who want to get started use the thousands of dollars equipment that Aidan and I have compiled. Because I've got a few $100s in microphones. I've got a $2,000 laptop. Like I've got a $400 camera. I mean, I've got another $500 camera. So like the amount of stuff that we could let people use for a very low price, if we could just get the space for it, we're trying to push people towards that Patreon because that's a reliable source of income for us. And obviously, I don't expect 10% of my TikTok followers to ever sub to the Patreon because that would be ridiculous. But even if it was 1%, that's still 7,000. And with $7,000 a month, Aidan and I could both actually do this full time. That could be I think that would, at that point, we would be making more money than either of our. I mean, I do this full time now, but that would be more money than your job, I think, right?
Yeah, it would be just over, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's like my point is not to say that Aidan and I don't make a ton of money. It's just like we would be
Well, we
able to do
don't.
this full time. Yeah, we don't. We're scraping by.
Very much so.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, if 10% of our YouTube subscribers did the $1 Patreon, it would get us $2,000 a month, which would be enough for us to at least invest in more stuff, and pay for the studio space and all that. So it's yeah, I'm not trying to harp on this, but it has been bugging me all week a little bit. I've been thinking about it and how stuff tends to how it's hard for smaller creators, I think, because a lot of people think that YouTube and TikTok, like the revenue there, they think that it's decent when you're starting out, and it's really not. It's hard to take the time to do this kind of thing full time, and I'm in a position right now where I'm living with my parents for a couple months anyway. I'm in a position right now where I had the money saved up because of my old job, and I am able to live with my parents for a couple months and make it work. But there's a lot of people who you probably subscribe to and who you really enjoy who burn out early on because they just can't sustain it. And it's the kind of thing where like if you're willing to pay $15 a month for Netflix or $11 a month for Hulu, if you can toss in an extra dollar to support your favorite content creator on Patreon, it actually means that it means a lot to them. They're not just talking about me. Um, like guys like you know, Wendigoon and Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers, and like these guys who started out fairly small, um, and just when you think about that, the guys who are still around, think about the guys who are still around that you watch. That's probably 1% of the content that you enjoy that we're able to push past that level and get to a point where this is sustainable for them. So, and I'm not saying me necessarily, but what I did was I took $20 a month and went and picked like my favorite creators out there, and one of them's for one of my favorite video games. He's a modder and he does an amazing job. It's Perduno, and he did a World of Ice and Fire, which is a mod for Mountain Blade Warband. And I put $5 down for his Patreon, and I've got $5 here and $1 there, and just picked like my favorite content creators and set aside some money to support those people. Because when it's just you and it's one person at a time, it's not a big deal. But when you got a few thousand people who are willing to donate $1 or $2 every month, it really does crowdsource all the funding you need to sustain this as a career. I say that as somebody who actually has a lot of followers, like a considerable amount of followers. And I do my best as a larger content creator, like on TikTok, to go and try and like boost other people. So I'll stitch people whenever I can, and I'll at people. I'll try and include every now and then. I do a video where I'm just like, hey, if you like me, you might like these other content creators. We've had a few people on the podcast now who we've got a couple of people scheduled who are smaller than us, a couple of people scheduled who are bigger than us. It's just that kind of thing where you're trying to. We got to look out for each other, I guess, as content creators is what I'm trying to say, and as people who consume this kind of stuff. I mean, up until June, I was one of you guys watching this. Same with Aidan. We were both just like you guys, sitting in a live stream watching people we enjoyed talk and being like, yeah, I can spare $1. But yeah, rant over. That's it. But yeah, what's see we're both sick. That's why we're not together right now.
I have mono. We don't know what he has.
It's not COVID.
Yeah,
we know
we somehow. I've been sick most of this summer, and I have not gotten COVID yet, at all. Like I had bronchitis for most of July.
We go out fairly often in a
I
town
know.
that doesn't have COVID restrictions, and neither of us has had COVID, and now we're both just laid up with like, he's got mono, I've got a cough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you know what the weird thing is too?
Abdominal pain.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure they're not related.
I would hope not. Actually, no. I would hope that they are, because if there's two things wrong with you.
How likely is that? Also, if you do like this mug, by the way, obviously I'm not getting like the best image of it, but if you go to the lorelodge.shop, you can get this mug.
Along with a number of other fun, pretty things.
Yes. The t-shirts we have, the hoodies. Oh my god, I got the hoodies in. Dude.
Are they good?
The hoodies are nice. Like,
oh, how exciting.
Comfortable. Yeah, they're better than the unqualified apparel ones were.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
They're nice. They're comfortable. All right, what else we got in here? Thanks, and I joined and posted the video I sent you guys so the stream isn't left out.
Also,
Awesome.
just because this is a fun place to do it, and because I have it in my hands, I'm going to show off the guitar I made.
That's not what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah. I'm just realizing these are my initials here, but I guess they could also stand for Tech Aidan, which is fun.
That's true.
But yeah.
Or it could be like some sort of cult symbol.
True.
And
Becca said that it's apparently the same symbol that they use for the Appalachian Trail, and she was like, you stole the Appalachian Trail logo, and I'm like, no, they stole my logo. So yeah, yeah. This started out as a very different looking guitar in high school, where I made it for a class, and then over the years I swapped out pretty much everything. Like the most recent one, it used to be painted black, and then I charred the edges and put a clear coat on it. This used to be a white pick guard. I've changed it to the blue. These used to be boring plastic volume and tone knobs. I've changed it to aluminum.
yeah, that
Uh,
was like just a shitty like Squire when you got it, right?
it wasn't even a Squire one; it was a kit one.
Oh God.
Yeah, and so I swapped out the old pickups, which were just shit, like cheapo pickups. I swapped them out
So
for
what's the same on that? Is it the body and the
just the
neck?
body. The
Yeah, it's
body,
good.
not even the neck. The neck is new. It had a rosewood
Yeah.
neck before. I swapped it out for a maple, but that was a couple of years ago. The tuners are newer. I did because this is the second overhaul I did. So the first overhaul was changing the pickups to Seymour Duncan Classic 50s, changing the neck to a maple neck because it's lighter and whatever. I, I I eventually want a Strat with a rosewood neck as well, just to have the variety. But yeah, and because the neck was different, it needed different tuners. Um, and then the more recent time, I changed the body style, the pick guard, the knobs, and then I changed the 5-way switch out for a 10-way switch. So it's the
Who does love
normal
his 10 ways?
exactly. So it's the normal uh 5-way for a Strat, and then flip it up, and there's a bunch of different like humbucker kind of style options and things like that. You get these two as a humbucker, these two as a humbucker. You get all three of them together. You get these two as a regular Strat. So it's
Love
fun.
that hum.
Yes. Oh, we love it. And then I
We do have a few
yeah, feel free. Go ahead.
comments I
This
want to
isn't a guitar
address.
stream.
Yeah. Uh, we can do a guitar stream. I've been thinking we could do some IRL style Twitch streams.
Oh, we
Also,
should.
I've been talking with the guys with the boys, and they want to do a Dungeons and Dragons
Oh,
campaign,
hell
and
yeah. Let's
they're
do it.
they're okay with me streaming it on Twitch.
Let's go.
So it's gonna be Norman, Wade, Sean, you, and me. Possibly also John if he's
That's gonna
interested.
be
So
so fun.
also you're gonna see like us in our like natural habitat with a bunch of our friends. So the
A
banter will be
dangerous game.
phenomenal. But yeah, Russell the Outlaw says, so I just tried looking up the URL and got a very sus result at the bottom of the page below your Insta. I'm not sure what the sus result would be.
Also, to the two questions that just came in about the guitar, Matreon, I now isn't a good time to play you tunes, but maybe I can do some Discord stuff for playing some tunes. I'm learning more. I'm getting better. I'm not great, but I'm getting there.
Wait, the
Um,
one
also,
below his
ideally, Aiden and I are
streams.
going to play together at some point. And then Holly, do I play classical guitar? Um, Not really. I just mainly play.
We have
Uh,
a friend who does.
yeah, I play songs that I like. So like lately, I've been trying to learn a lot of John Mayer.
Don't listen to
Uh,
him. He only likes John Mayer.
I know it's bad. No, I did just learn all of the guitar solo to Another Brick in the Wall Part Two earlier today. It's not like finished or together or anything, but I finally have all of the pieces together. It just needs to get smoothed out. Um, but yeah, and like
Yeah.
a
What?
lot of like
Wait.
pop and rock from the late '90s, early 2000s. That's my kind of vibe.
Oh. Oh no.
What?
Aiden. Aiden spelled the or not Aiden. Russell spelled the
What did he spell
something
wrong?
wrong. I don't know what he spelled wrong, but he spelled something wrong, and apparently it was not PG. Um.
What did you spell wrong, Russell?
Yeah, I'm wondering what he spelled wrong. Maybe he spelled it the Vorlage. Yeah.
Oh, I hope
Um.
not.
Matreon says that if I stop eating Big Macs, he'll solve the abdominal pain, and you know what? I can deal with the abdominal pain. I actually have only had McDonald's twice in the last month. I've been trying
I,
to cut back on my fast food intake, but I have excluded Wawa from that.
I think Wawa's a better option than McDonald's, dude.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm gonna try and really knuckle down because I'm feeling chunky and not in a good way lately. So I'm gonna try and do some meal prep. because I did that in college and it was easy enough. It's just I've been lazy. Apparently, people on TikTok are getting tuberculosis.
Makes
How?
sense.
How are they doing that? Like, you have to try to get tuberculosis in America. You have to actually make it a point to get tuberculosis. Uh, Matron says he got his T-shirt and it smelled like battery acid. Yeah, heads up, if you buy the merch, it does not smell good when it arrives. Just wash it and it smells fine after that. I've gotten plenty of stuff from Spring before. I've gotten samples of a bunch of our stuff, and it does not smell good when it gets to you. Here's the thing about like a T-shirt you buy from like a retail store: they all get washed before they get sent out to the stores. So when you get it, it's been washed. When you get something that you bought directly off an online store that wasn't shipped to a warehouse first, it came right off the printer, got packaged and sent to you. So, and that this counts for me and Geetsleys and Star Wars Theory and literally anyone on YouTube that does their merch through Spring. When you get it, it's gonna smell bad, and you just gotta wash it. But they're comfy. They are very comfortable shirts. Kid Collector Comics says, "Love the work you guys do. The stuff you is talking about really interests me, and some of it really makes me think. Y'all are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That makes us feel good. That's good. My mom sent us $20 just because.
Thank you.
What do you guys think of the bipedal wolf people of Maine? We did a video on the Palmyra wolves a couple weekends ago, and that I think might have been our best performing video ever. And I don't know. So I was skeptical because I couldn't find any sources for the Palmyra wolves outside of Mr. Ballin and Paranormal Witness. I looked up Palmyra. I looked all over the town on Google Maps. I was looking for the house and I couldn't find it. And then we had Saucy Dad, or Nick Boss, on, and he's from Maine, and he was very serious. He was like, "Oh no, this is a thing here." So I think it's something. I would love to go up and kind of visit the house and everything from the Palmyra Wolf story. And I've gotten some pictures from people all over the country of weird animals they've come across on ranches and stuff like that, or that their family members have found. So I think that there's definitely something going on. I can't say exactly what I think it is, but I think there's definitely something weird going on up in Maine. You know, I don't know how
Matreon, in
exaggerated
terms,
the Palmyra Wolves thing was, but I think that there's something funky going on, and I would love to have an opportunity to go up and do that. I think at a certain point, if once we're making enough money doing this, that we can really put some more effort into things and do some more travel and everything. There's a couple documentaries I actually want to set up. One of them being Palmyra Wolves, one of them being like sort of like the Appalachian horror kind of genre, and I also want to do one on Atlantis. So I think that's just a bunch of different stuff that we would like to address. What were you gonna say, Aidan?
just in terms of what Matreon said about I'm waiting on the sword duel, as are we. It just is in terms of when we're
We're
actually
both
going to be
dying.
healthy. Yeah.
I
It's
have the
best to not.
swords.
What's that?
I think you have a sword too, right? You have your own.
Yeah, hang on, I'll go get it.
You still have your hand and a half,
Yeah.
and you also have your sword.
Oh yes. Yeah, hang on. I have both the gladius and the hand and a half right here.
Living million-year-old frogs are found in coal frequently. How do we know that
So
they're a
yeah,
million?
for those curious, these are the types we are going to use. This is the Roman gladius here.
That's not an accurately sized Roman gladius, but yes, sure.
Yeah, it's pretty small. And then hand and a half, which is like the Game of Thrones style, medieval
Mm-hmm.
sword. And Aidan has a
I
single
have a
hander.
very, yeah, mine is a long sword. It's actually very similar in length to his hand and a half, though.
Yep. It's built for only one hand as opposed to two.
Yeah, it's built for use with a shield. I usually use it with like a hand and then a hand on the pommel. It's actually looked. I checked it today. It is exactly the same dimensions as my actual longsword.
Is it really?
Yeah. My actual sword's obviously a bit heavier, but
Well, yeah, I would imagine.
not by much though. Maybe a pound. Um,
Hmm.
and if it were hammer forged instead of cast, because it's technically, I don't know whether it was forged or cast honestly, but I think it's not quite the same quality as something that's like Damascus steel. Um, oh, custom Antioch sword, my next AV fuel project. I love it. You'll love to see it. Um, Also, if we're talking about guitars, I kind of want to.
Yeah, go get yours.
I'm not gonna reach all the way over there. It's like
Go
too far
get
away.
it.
It's all the way over on the other side of
Go
my desk.
get it.
Uh,
Mine was all the way back there, and I went and got it.
yeah, but your headphones are wireless. It's fine. I pulled it out on Twitch the other day. But all right. It is getting to be that time. So yeah, if anybody else has further questions, I think we're getting close to the end of the show. Probably could take a few more. But
Yeah, I would say
yeah,
so.
if anybody has further super chats that you wanted to get in or just questions, shoot them on over.
Custom Antioch sword,
the
my
sword.
next ADD fuel project. That's great.
Fine, I'll get the sword.
Why wouldn't you do it? Yeah, there you go. Get the guitar while you're at it. Oh, he can't hear me. All right, guys, I can play a little bit now. Ready? If anybody recognizes this song, I'll be impressed.
Oh. Yeah. To answer that question really quickly, not that I have heard of, no, not birds, because the way a skinwalker transforms into a skinwalker is they kill and skin something, and then they put on its skin. So it would be really hard to skin a bird. But yeah, so here, oh boy, here's the practice sword I have. It's, as you can see, just a slightly shorter version.
Yep, it's a very
Aidan
similar
has,
style.
I think our blades are actually almost exactly the same.
Probably.
But this is like a cavalryman's longsword, essentially. This is what you would have if you were on horseback. Or this is generally the kind of sword, the length of sword that knights would carry.
Yeah, these are the two that we'll probably use whenever we end up doing that.
I think we should do that in Valley Forge because it'll be great scenery.
Yeah, that's true.
And then this guy is the actual sword. You know where you can get these? You know where you can buy these without age verification? Amazon.
Where? Really?
So this one is more based off of Viking style, but this would be like later Viking. This is like 10th, 11th century.
And that's stainless, right?
Yeah, this is actually surprisingly light. Maybe 5 pounds, and it's actually pretty poorly balanced, a lot heavier towards the hilt. But it's more of a showpiece. I would love to get an actual nice sword, but I don't have that kind of money laying around at the moment. Oh, and there the practice sword goes. And then of course, because we're showing off guitars, this is my baby.
There we go. This is Telly.
It's a Fender Telecaster. It's black. I actually see a lot of pop punk musicians that have this exact guitar. Like down to the same neck and thing.
Wait, do you have the strap with you?
Yeah, it's American flag.
Yeah, show them how low you fucking put your strap. This dude is the most pop punk guy ever. For context, like, this is where mine sits, right? Mine sits here. Do I have a pick? I do have a pick in my pocket. There we go.
It's like all the way down here.
Yeah, look at him. It's all the way down there.
Yeah.
Like, how do you? I couldn't
can play
imagine
it
playing.
lower. I can get it like down to here, but that's just a little uncomfortable with your hand.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like up here by my damn shoulder.
Aidan's guitar is set up for efficiency. Mine is set up for style. Yes,
Correct.
Patreon, without age verification, Amazon will not check to see how old you are before you buy the sword. That is the other thing. If we are able to get the studio set up, I want to get some actual recording equipment, and we could do some live jam sessions and have musicians over. I would not charge the Wendy Boys with a sword and shield because they move much faster than you do. So that was a fun video. Ooh, that was one I wanted to do. Aidan.
I'm listening.
Was a Deadliest Warrior, Knights Templar versus Jedi.
Oh, that would be fun.
Templar Knight versus Jedi Knight. But we'd have to give the Templar Knight Beskar armor.
Oh God, that sounds expensive.
I mean, obviously we're not gonna like reenact it, but it would be a fun little like video to make using Star Wars stuff and like cutouts from Kingdom of Heaven and Nightfall and shows like that.
That would be fun, actually. Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Professor in Bible College told the Bible College. Oh boy. When you say Bible College and professor, I get worried, and I say that as a Christian who studies religion. For like that was one of my minors. And medieval studies was a very religion heavy course.
Tell us why you get worried, Aidan. Tell us why.
It's the same reason I get worried when you have like colleges that are just STEM colleges. When you don't have a good balance, you tend to lose some stuff.
Yep.
So where did oh there it is. Okay. Yeah, but no, so God, what was I gonna say? What does I'm trying to remember exactly what the word means. Yeah, okay, so it does. It means terrible lizard. That's what I thought it was. So yeah, so both the words Dine and Saurian were both words in Greek before they became dinosaur. Part of the reason it is very likely that dragons came from people discovering dinosaur fossils and then getting mixed in with other legends of flying things. Which, of course, if you look at this guy right here, the symbol of Wales is a red dragon. But yeah, it's very likely that people found large fossils and, decided that they were dealing with dragons, and maybe the wings got added in because they, over time, mixed up the stories with stories of other flying creatures versus and dinosaurs, and they kind of got melded into one. Or, maybe they did find an Archaeopteryx at one point, and they were like, oh, what is? Okay, so the issue with using a sword against a Wendigo is not that the sword won't kill them. It's that you're not going to be able to swing the sword fast enough, and it's going to move quicker than you can actually keep up with. Um, they move very fast, they move very quietly. So by the time you turn around to actually hack at it, it's on you. So that's the issue. It's not because dismemberment would work if you cut it. Actually, I will say this: simply cutting off their limbs does not kill them, because according to the Ojibwa,
Ojibwe, I believe you said before.
that's what I said before, but I was wrong.
Got it.
I think it's Ojibwe. Ojibwe. I think I might be wrong about that. Point is, there's one of the stories is about a Wendigo who steals a child and decides the child's not fat enough for him to eat it yet, and they hunt the Wendigo down. They cut off its legs, and when they come back to see if it's dead, it's like sucking the marrow out of its own legs.
Oh, well, that's
So yeah,
pleasant.
simply like dismembering them won't kill them, but if you cut off the head, it will. If the Vikings conquered everything, we're like, nah, we aren't going to sell here, and we're great. Um, yeah, exactly. The Vikings were not simple. They were a complex society, but yes, it's a faith-based program more on staying in relationship with God and studying the Bible. Gotcha. So where's all you got, my fat buddy? Now we're hitting the Winnie boy. So exactly. That's why real men use snow shovels. Exactly. It's their one true weakness. Uh, Nerds and Fedora says, "Hey man, really love your content. I've always been really into lore since I was young. Keep up the good work. My first lore obsession was the Legend of the Goat Man and his bridge. Any thought?" There's a lot of Goat Man legends. And we also got satyrs and fawns. So I think that there's something to it. But I'm curious about what it could be. I have to do a little bit more digging before I form a solid opinion on this. I'm not quite as certain of it as I am with the Dog Man. Also, goats are associated with Satanism and Luciferianism. I would not put it past some, Luciferian cult to run around wearing goat heads. But yeah, so the thing is, there's a Maryland goat man, there's a Delaware goat man, there's a Texas goat man, there's a Florida goat man. A lot of them seem to be associated with bridges. So
That sounds very like trolly.
you gotta wonder if it's all like variations of the same original one, and they popped up at like one popped up and they popped up everywhere else, or if you're actually having people simultaneously experiencing the same thing. Which, since you have satyrs and fawns, I can see how it would be. But also, if you've seen that one video on TikTok going around of the goat walking on two legs, um, like goats can do that. So, like I said in the TikTok that I made about it, maybe some dude was just off in the forest on shrooms and saw a goat walking on two legs and took it a little too far. Any lore specific to Ohio? Helltown, which, to just give you the synopsis,
Oh, are you looking it up?
yeah, I'm trying to get the exact. I'm going with Atlas Obscura to give you guys a.
Got it. Also, Carly said blue snow shovels to be accurate. Yes, correct. Also, just
yes,
a heads
Mom,
up.
the Three Billy Goats gruff would be along the same lines. That's a good point. That's wow, you are digging stuff out of my childhood.
That's great.
If you can find me a cryptid from it. Yeah, so let's see.
Also,
okay,
just a heads
so
up, it is
what was
8:51.
Yeah. Here we go. I love this because I wanted to get the right wording for it, but the extreme folklore surrounding the region formerly known as Boston, Ohio, is ironic, since the only verifiable legend about the town is that it is deserted for a very frighteningly tragic reason. Founded in 1806, Boston Village's original claim to fame was its standing as the oldest village in Summit County. Boston's relatively uneventful life took a turn for the worse in 1974, when it became the unlucky victim of nationwide anxiety over the country's disappearing forest land. Using the laws of eminent domain, President Gerald Ford signed a bill that gave the federal government's National Park Service jurisdiction to expropriate land from the establishment of the national parks. The NPS decided that Boston Township would be the new home for the Cuyahoga Valley National Park and began buying the properties of its longtime residents.
The evidence grows, as one might say.
It's just like, it's every time. Like, you know, there's all these stories about it, and of course it's like, oh well, the only really weird thing is that, you know, it was bought up by the National Park Service. Yeah, it's weird that the National Park Service bought it up. Why'd they choose this village in Ohio to build a national park? Like, I'm sure there was nearby forest that they could have used that wasn't in Boston, Ohio. Like, we gotta do a video on that. I think it's scheduled. I think I have it on the schedule.
Yep.
I'll check. My mom asked if I want Rita's. She asked me an hour and a half ago. Okay, never mind. Oops. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, is Helltown on the list? It's not. I'll add it to the list.
Good plan.
But yeah, so it's just the national parks thing, man. I gotta do we gotta do a video that's the national parks thing revisited now that we have a bit better setup and everything and better equipment and whatever.
Agreed.
But yeah, it's more than a coincidence, because all these national parks are in areas where weird stuff happens.
Yes. Very much so.
Also, Holly Marquis says, "That's amazing. My town is known for a satanic daycare." What is a satanic daycare?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Who's like, you know who would be good at taking care of my children? Satanists.
Sounds like a logical conclusion to me.
Like, and to answer Matreon's question, I think very few National Park Service workers are actually aware of what's going on. If I'm right about this, I think it's probably just like an elite group of them with, you know, top level security clearances. But let's see. Wendigo says, "Be sure to smash that like button." That is a good point. Be sure to smash the like button and the subscribe button if you have not, and also the share, the notification bell, all of that good stuff.
The TikTok with the TikTok with the credit card.
Yeah. The owners allegedly performed satanic rituals in the daycare. It was a baby fighting ring. You know what?
That's pretty brutal.
You know what?
Even for a guy like me, that's cold.
If you set it up right and you had like a gymnastics mat and some foam padding on the walls, and you gave a bunch of toddlers like sparring helmets and pool noodles, I think it would be pretty entertaining.
Would it be entertaining? Probably, but probably also not very healthy for the toddlers.
True, yeah. Well, it just reminds me of like, I was in college from 2016 through 2020. We had midget wrestling at one of the bars in town.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Was it Champs?
It was Champs. It was, of course, the bar that partners with Barstool.
Yeah, naturally.
We had midget wrestling, and that's how it was billed. It wasn't little people wrestling. It wasn't wrestling night, and then there just happened to be a round that was midgets. It was midget wrestling. And it was packed every time.
I mean, they're making an honest wage, I guess.
Yeah. Champs was a place.
10 Emmy 10 asks, how's the moving going? Slowly now that I've been diagnosed with mono. But it is going.
Give them the foam Minecraft swords. Yes. Do you remember the golden era of Nerf?
Yes.
when Nerf had like the line of melee weapons.
Dude, it was Nerf or nothing.
It's still Nerf or nothing. I have a bunch of
Correct.
Nerf guns over on the other side of this wall.
When are we doing a...
I kind of want to set up a like gun
Yes.
wall
For
in my
Nerf
new
guns?
apartment in the studio with Nerf guns.
Please. Please. Oh, we need to do a
And
lore
just have people
community.
walk in. People walk in and they're like, there for the podcast or whatever, and there's just a wall of Nerf guns. It's like, yeah, you got to fight your way out at the end.
Well, we have to do a lore community Nerf war eventually.
Holly Marquis goes, it sucks because we're known for the satanic daycare and not the wolf cult.
What? Like, I don't want you to dox yourself, but I
What
really want to know
town
where the
is
hell
this?
this is. This is just not okay.
Can you like DM me and tell me what town this is? Yeah, and we can definitely have a Nerf battle. I don't think we can do that in Valley Forge, but we could probably do it in one of the parks in Phoenixville, as long as we clean up.
Yep.
Because who in Phoenixville is going to be like, yeah, you can't do that here?
There's always somebody like that somewhere.
Yes, but are the cops going to enforce it?
No.
Dude, Phoenixville cops are actually pretty cool.
They're chill as fuck.
They, like, when you went missing that one night, we were just like, hey, you guys seen a blonde dude about 5'6", 5'7"? And they were like, no.
I go spend like 3 hours with someone, and y'all like start turning over the town.
It's because you didn't bring your phone.
Yeah, because I wanted
to give you guys an idea of what happened.
I wanted it to feel like old school. I hate having home. I hate having my phone.
With me and two of Aidan's friends, who I've since become friends with, and we were all at this one bar, and then they wanted to go to a bar that I don't particularly like, so I went home.
And I mean Molly's?
Yeah, it was like 1 a.m. And then like an hour and a half later, his buddies Rex and Pat show up at my door. They're like, yo, is Aidan here? And I'm like, nah, he was with you guys last I saw him. They're like, we can't find him. It's probably like 2 a.m. at this point. So maybe I left earlier. Maybe I left at like 11:30 or 12. And so we walk all over town looking for Aidan. And then he just shows up at like 3, 4 in the morning. We're like, where were you? But yeah, so at one point I was like asking the cops if they'd seen him. I was asking the bouncers at bars if they'd seen him. Nobody had seen him. But yeah, if you go out drinking, bring your phone, because if you disappear, your friends will stay up into the wee hours of the morning.
I was fine, by the way.
Yeah, he was fine. It was just like not.
I just went and did my own thing for a while.
Rest of us. Also, trust me, Nerf is not over. My nieces and nephews have like fully auto Nerf machine guns. That's the thing, though. That is Nerf being over, because now it's just airsoft with foam darts. I miss having the Nerf guns where like, you could like single shot revolver it and just be like. Doo, 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 doo.
Yeah, those were fun.
Now kids are walking up. We had a friend who had one of the early Nerf machine guns, and he attached a car battery to it.
Huh?
He had like it was like one of the belt-fed Nerf machine guns, like the original. Like this must have been 2011.
Yeah.
Maybe 2010.
A car battery.
It's before we started playing airsoft. Yeah, so it must have been like before 2012. Yeah, and he attached a car battery to it. It didn't work.
Yeah, because it probably blew
Obviously it didn't work.
GPU or whatever it was on it.
I don't think the Nerf gun had a graphics processing unit.
Yeah, it was just the first thing that came to my mind. Sorry.
This is my Nerf gun. It's got an NVIDIA GTX 3070.
That would be actually hilarious.
Runs Battlefield like it's no problem.
Hey, VR Battlefield with Nerf guns? I'm down.
You don't need the VR at that point. You just have the Nerf guns. Dude, if you had the imagination, you could make your backyard feel like Normandy.
If you had the imagination, you could do anything.
Like make your backyard feel like Normandy.
Great. Yes. Just a heads up, it is 9:02, so
Yeah.
we should
So I
probably be
think we're
wrapping up.
yeah. If you got any questions, now is your last. This is the last call.
This is
But
last call.
otherwise, yeah. Closing time.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
I think they're all home already. What is
Well,
here?
here is now.
Oh god, this is already too much. Dude, the Wonder Years did this to me last night. They're like they got really deep. And then All Time Low did it too. They had like some backing track thing that like they would go off for a couple minutes and it would like roll through. Oh my god. You would roll through some stuff and I was looking at it and I was like this is blowing my mind right now. I am not prepared for this. Like I've been standing for 5 hours. I'm just trying to listen to some music, and you guys have me thinking about like if we're living in a simulation. It was a robot saying that it was fated, and I'm like,
Interesting.
was the robot smoking weed? And if so, how? Maybe they put it
10
in the
Emmy 10
GPU.
getting another tattoo. Or you need to like show us these tattoos.
Bro, what time is it?
She says she's always getting tattoos when she watches our streams.
Yeah, what? This is 11 streams.
How much like
How many
surface
tattoos?
area do you have left?
How much money do you have?
Yeah, that's another good point.
Oh my god. How big are these tattoos? Yeah, like exactly. Like I don't know. I think we're gonna hop off of here for sure. But I don't know. I might hop on Twitch or something.
Yeah, you might as well.
Perhaps do some Warzone. I came in third with randoms the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
What are you doing after this?
I don't know. I know Rex and Pat wanted to get on at some point, but I have no idea what I'm going to play. What's
see
that?
If they want to do Warzone. See if they want to do Warzone. Or
Pat might. Rex won't because he refuses to download the game.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's
He just
reasonable.
for some reason he's just like, yeah, I just don't want to like have another game that I'd spend time on, and I'm like, yeah, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
not.
She's getting a sleeve,
Got it.
so that makes a little bit more sense.
Yes, that makes a lot more sense.
I have no tattoos. My skin is pure.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that I would want permanently on me. So
The Lore Lodge logo, obviously.
I would have put that right beneath my belly button.
I mean, if you got it without the words, like it'd actually be a pretty cool tattoo.
It would, absolutely. It would be very scary to most people, but it'd be cool as shit.
Emmy has 10% of Aidan's TikTok followers on her Patreon. That's how she can afford all the tattoos.
That's fantastic.
Ooh. All right. For those of you that are interested, the $25 tier on the Patreon now is going to be a signed canvas print of the logo, and we got one for the guy who drew the logo. They're actually very nice. They're very, very nice. So that is something to look into. If you have funds. Also, just so people know, we actually don't make any money on the first month of Patreon subscriptions because we have to spend money on whatever the perks are. I don't know why I felt like mentioning that. It just seemed relevant.
Yes, we have not made much money at all.
Yeah, I went and I ran through like my bank account because we're going to be getting the last of the revenue from August coming in like a week, and I was like trying to figure out how much I spent on the business versus how much we made, and I was like, oof. Should get better after this month because I have a lot of expenses for August.
Yep.
Like the business filing and everything. Would you guys be opposed to me working the logo into? No, I would not be opposed to that at all.
Go for it, Em.
Yeah, if you send it, we'll post a picture of it on the Lore Lodge Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. Yeah, and I mean, go for it. That's what's the theme of the sleeve? Out of sheer curiosity.
I'm assuming it's just things she likes.
Yeah. Also, the handwritten notes. I am working on getting Lore Lodge logo note cards. Like I'm either gonna do postcards or like thank you note style things, just folding ones. But once we get those in, I will start getting those written and sent out. But it's just a matter of actually getting the logo printed and everything. This is one of those things where like we have to wait for some of the money to come in before we can actually get the tiers, the bonuses, and everything out. Hopefully we'll be at a point soon where when people sub, we can get that stuff out immediately. But right now it's pay the rent first and then get stuff out.
Yeah, we have a lot of
just
expenses.
Catching up, but what bars are in Phoenixville? Oh, ain't that the question? Oh, good Lord.
I mean, well, number one is Bistro on Bridge. That is the beginning of the night bar for sure.
I disagree with you.
What do you consider the beginning night?
Okay, at no point do I ever willingly go to Molly's, but like,
well, Molly's is where we all inevitably end up.
Bistro, yeah, I guess Bistro is kind of like a beginning of the night bar.
Yeah, because they close at 12, and so it, like usually our night starts at like 10 or later.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Just downtown Phoenixville alone, we've got Iron Hill, Bluebird, Sedona, Great American Pub. We also got let's see, Il Graneo, not really a bar, it's more of an Italian restaurant with a bar. Molly's, Phoenix Lounge, Root Down, Steel City, Bistro, PJ's, Rec Room.
Rec Room's fun.
What's the Crowded Castle, Stable 12, Bistro Dos, Uncle B's, and that's just on Bridge Street.
I haven't had their buffalo chicken pizza yet, but now you've inspired me. I will get it at some point in the near future.
I do. Yeah, I've had their pizza. It's pretty good. I'm a big pizza guy. When we go to,
that is putting it as an understatement.
Yeah.
This dude finishes an entire pizza himself when we go to Great American Pub.
Listen, it's tasty.
Listen, it's that. How? Where do you put it? It's so much.
This Fitzwater Station. Where is that? Because that looks kind of cool. That's over down by. We should go there sometime.
What's it called?
This tavern in a restored 19th century building on the Schuylkill Canal serves pub fare and drinks.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's over in Montclair.
Got it. When I no longer have mono, I'm down to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that I think is probably a good place for us to end the night.
I would say so, yes.
Yeah. Mostly because I have to pee.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Remember to check out the links in the description if it's there. Yeah, aidanmattis.card.co. That's Instagram, Snapchat, merch, Patreon, Discord, everything. If you're not in the Discord, there's a lot going on in the Discord. I try to get into the Discord a couple times a day, but usually I get intimidated and I run away quickly.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Also, I'm very frustrated with Discord because we spent half an hour trying to get my microphone to work and it simply wouldn't. But yeah, so
if any of the mods are here, feel free to try and help them out. I didn't find a solution.
Didn't work. I am a boomer. Yeah, but
boomer will
thank you
live.
everybody for tuning in. For everybody who sent super chats, thank you very much. You are helping us pay the bills.
Yes, very much so. More than you know. I'm also currently in my parents' house working on getting out. Yeah. Well, I technically am out already, but I just have to move stuff out after I wrap up mono.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Adios, everybody. Aidan's in charge of the stream, so I have to wait for him to shut it down.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody.